A European nation just brought its war to African soil, and Africans have lost their lives in the process. Ukraine's recent admission that it supported rebels in Mali to strike Wagner's forces has sparked outrage across the Sahel. Ibrahim Traoré recently addressed this publicly, and you might be surprised who he held responsible. In this video, we're going to break down exactly what Zelensky's Ukraine did and why Traoré's reaction is a powerful wake-up call for Africans everywhere on the continent. If you don't know me, my name is TJ, I'm Nigerian and British mixed, and on this channel, we talk about African geopolitics. So recently, a Ukrainian official proudly stated that their government provided intelligence and strategy to rebels in Mali, knowing those rebels would target both Wagner and Malian troops. That's a direct act of war on African soil. Yet, apart from Ibrahim Traoré, not a single official from the African Union opened their mouths to condemn it. Imagine if an African country had interfered in the war in Europe. European capitals would explode with outrage, sanctions, and God knows what else. But when African lives are lost because of European war games, it's met with silence. Ibrahim Traoré saw that silence as cowardice, treachery, and incompetence, and he just called it exactly that.
Je parle de la lâcheté, la traîtrise et l'incompétence. Il y a quelques jours de cela, un pays étranger à l'Afrique a annoncé ouvertement avoir soutenu et participé à une attaque lâche, terroriste et barbare contre des forces de notre confédération à Tinzaouaten. L'Union africaine n'a pipé aucun mot pour condamner cette ingérence d'un État extérieur à l'Afrique dans les affaires internes de nos États. Je souhaiterais qu'ils l'entendent et qu'ils sortent donc de leur...
So essentially, Traoré asks why Africans can unite to threaten Niger after a change in its leadership, but can't mobilize the same urgency when foreign nations openly attack African soldiers. When ECOWAS gathered resources, troops, and logistics to threaten Niger because of its new military government, they proved Africa has the capability to act fast, but just not in defense of Africans themselves. At least that's what Traoré infers. To understand his anger, you have to look at the pattern. The Democratic Republic of Congo has been in conflict for nearly 30 years. It's one of the world's richest nations with gold, uranium, cobalt, lithium, rare earths, and many other minerals too numerous to mention. It's home to the Congo River, which experts say could power the entire continent if hydroelectric technology was implemented. Yet the country bleeds endlessly because global powers sponsor rebels to secure those minerals cheaply. Instead of helping Congo stabilize, the African Union has been wholly ineffective in its ability to produce any solutions. The war continues because every iPhone, every battery, every electric car depends on Congo's minerals. So the bloodshed is actually good for business for outsiders. So now Ukraine has joined the same playbook, targeting Wagner forces in Mali as part of a larger proxy war against Russia. But the result was African deaths, soldiers defending their own country. Traoré saw this for what it was, a European conflict exported to Africa. His message was simple. Africans may disagree internally, but no outsider has the right to step into our quarrels and spill African blood. And what makes this even more outrageous is that the war that Ukraine interfered in isn't some local political issue. It's the ongoing fight against Boko Haram and other Islamist groups that have plagued the Sahel region and is currently trending as a Christian genocide all over Western media. This is a war which itself has credible links to its origin coming from European and Western powers. Traoré and his allies in Mali and Niger are fighting that war every single day. The Russians, through Wagner, are there to provide boots on ground, real security support against terrorism that has killed tens of thousands of innocent Africans. So when Ukraine decides to back rebels in Mali, it didn't just cause the deaths of African soldiers, it weakens the very fight against terrorism that the whole world claims to condemn. That's why Traoré's condemnation is so fierce. He wasn't defending Russia for the sake of politics. He was defending African soldiers who are dying, trying to secure their own soil. Ukraine's justification that this was part of a wider war with Russia simply doesn't hold water when African lives are the collateral damage. Once again, outsiders are turning Africa into a pawn on their chessboard. So Traoré is pointing out that this is a deeper disease. It's willingness to act when Western approval is on the table, but then it freezes when African sovereignty is at stake. You see, when ECOWAS moved against Niger, they did it with Western backing. But when African nations are attacked by outsiders, suddenly they lose their coordination. That contradiction exposes the hollowness of the African Union. And this is where the alliance of the Sahel states, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, comes in. These countries are tired of being treated as pawns. They've declared that attack on any one is the same as an attack on all. It's a small but powerful step towards a genuine African unity, the kind built on mutual defense rather than foreign instruction. Chad has already begun the process to join this group, and recently, those from Ivory Coast that are unhappy with the regime have stated that they want to join as well. This is how unity across multiple countries begins. Traoré's statement isn't random. It's the expression of a generation that refuses to accept Africa as a battlefield, particularly for other people's wars. His question echoes beyond the Sahel. Why do we allow outsiders to fight their wars on African soil? Why are African leaders silent when European nations fund rebels, assassinate allies, or manipulate governments for resources? The answer is simple: fear and dependence. For decades, Africa's political class has been conditioned to look outside for validation. The new generation, led by figures like Traoré, is breaking that spell right now. They're saying no more. If the West can unite instantly for Ukraine, then Africans can unite for Congo, Sudan, or Somalia. This Ukraine-Mali incident should be the moment that pushes the continent to choose sides, not between Russia and the West, but between dependence and sovereignty. Because if foreign powers can attack African soldiers without consequence, then Africa has already lost its independence in practice. So here's the question: will Africa stay silent again? Or will this be the spark that finally wakes the continent up? If the alliance of Sahel states grows stronger, it could force the African Union to reform or maybe become irrelevant. Because building unity on sovereignty will always outlast unity built on fear and dependence. This is the test of Africa's new era. Either Africa defends its soil from foreign wars, or we keep burying our people while others profit. I would love to know what you guys think about this in the comments section. But if you have nothing to say, would it be too much to ask you to write the words, "African unity is mandatory"? It just lets me know that you've watched the video to the end, you like the channel, you like what I do, and you want me to continue. Thank you so much for watching this video today, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.